Good morning, folks. Today I am going to make the gluten-free brown bread. I'll put the link to the recipe for both the brown bread and the white bread, gluten-free, underneath this video. So I discovered this Dove's Farm brown bread flour when I was buying my plain white flour, and it is brilliant for making brown bread. It works really well each time. I think I've only had one failure, but we won't talk about that. Right, so I have everything measured out here, and you pour in your milk. You put in 2 egg whites. You put in 3 tablespoons of the oil, which is half of what you need. You need 6, but I'll show you what happens later on. So it's 3 tablespoons of your oil, and this is sugar and salt. And you pop that in, okay? And then you just whisk that with a whisk. So you don't need any machinery or hand whisk or anything. This is absolutely fine. It's just to stir it all together, because you are after putting in 2 egg whites in here, and obviously with oil and vinegar as well. You can use ordinary table vinegar. I'm going to try it with a little bit of balsamic, just to see if that gives the bread a sort of a nice Mediterranean flavour. So that is the kind of wet ingredients, so to speak. And then in here I have the brown bread flour, and I have 2 teaspoons of quick acting yeast. I'm giving it a whisk first, and the reason why I'm giving it a whisk first is because when it sits into a packet, it can get a few lumps and stuff. So just give it a whisk so that you've got the yeast and the flour mixed in nicely together. And then you pop in your flour into your mixture and give it a mix around. It'll take a few minutes, and then once it gets to mixing, you then add your remainder of your oil in, and that's kind of the basis of the recipe. That's sort of it. So the other thing I'd say to you as well is, if you want to make a nice seeded loaf, you can pop in a packet of mixed seeds, pumpkins or seedling seeds, sunflower seeds. I got a packet of macadamia and cranberry nuts, macadamia nuts and cranberries, and I'm going to try that just to have a sort of a it's not a sweet bread as such, but just a nice variation on your bread. So here then I'm going to pop in the remainder of the oil. So it is a really wet recipe that you can see here, but you need that, okay? So then when you're finished giving this a mix around, you need to have a piece of cling film that is well oiled, okay? And there, I think that's kind of it. So your tin, right, your tin, you really do need loads of oil in the tin. I've just used vegetable oil here, and I've brushed it all up the sides. This is a great non-stick tin, but I'm not taking any chances because this recipe is pretty sticky. So I've put lashings of it in there. So you just transfer your you can see, can you, making sure I'm still in the center, transfer your bread mix into your 2 pound, I should have said, so 2 pound loaf tin that I have here, well oiled. Now I have a dough proving setting on my oven. You may not have that, and that's fine, but if you can get your oven at about 40 degrees, or if you just have a really hot place, nice warm place that you can pop it into, that's grand as well. So level it out as much as you can. And you can see the oil sitting in on the top here, and that's absolutely fine. You know, you need to have that, and you'll see afterwards when you bake it the reason why you need to have that. So flatten it out like that. I tend to just put a little line down the center there. And then I have the oiled, I'll make sure that you can see that. That's an oiled piece of cling film, which is deciding probably not to cooperate today. So pop it down there like that, and very loosely just put it around the tin like that. Okay, so that's going to go into the oven at 40 degrees to prove, because you want it to rise. It will rise up so that you can see it's not level there, but it will rise up so that it's level with the top of the tin. So in the proving oven, this takes about 50 minutes or so, but don't let it go over the top because it won't bake a good bread then. So just keep an eye on it for about, maybe about 50 minutes in the oven, but if you're doing a hot press or something, you might need an hour, but just keep an eye on it. And then it'll go into a hot oven, 190 for fan and 200 for a regular oven, and for about 55 minutes, and it is absolutely gorgeous brown bread, gluten-free, slices beautifully, tastes delicious. So that's my gluten-free brown bread, and the link for the recipe is in the comments below. Okay,